All right, this is going to be a short little guide to kind of show you how to level up quickly your skills at the beginning of the game. This is also using basically the build that I consider the most optimal build starting the game. So we started with 1.3, 5, 2.7, and 3 as our stats. We have some hyperthermia right now. One second. Tracksuit time. Try to take off a couple layers. Okay. So what this does is that with 1.2 strength, essentially to get to medium, because it's going to take you time to level up your skills, you can see right now we already got 1.34. So just running around in game, if you have a decent amount of weight on you, you can carry zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.3. So in 6 hours or so, you can get this to zero point 0.4, zero point 0.5, and get all your stats to medium. So getting brawling to medium isn't going to take too long, and so it doesn't really conserve a whole lot of points for us here. The main difference is that, if we start with like one strength, um, you could do that as well if you really want to, and then just start with advanced thievery or get a secondary skill for driving or something in there. I mean, that would be a good possibility as well. But I like having the 1.5 strength because we know that once we get to 1.5 and we get our archery to medium, we can use almost all the bows in the game. So I like doing that. It helps speed it up, and it only takes a couple days to get to 3 strength here. Uh, Split evenly between running and endurance. When you have a decent weight load on you, both these are going to level about the same rate. You can see that they are both pretty close. They've gained, running has gained about 400 more than endurance. Thievery, we're going 80%, so we went below. We need 200,000 XP for that. And then essentially, I can pick the basic locks or I can pick advanced locks, and it'll take me, 5 to 11 days if I do 100 of those a day or something. But I'm not super concerned about doing PvP at the first of the game, so I'm fine with this. Demolition is what we're going to be looking at when we level this up. So essentially what's going on is you want to level up demolition, stealth, camo, engineering, survival, and awareness all at the beginning of the game. With intelligence, we started with advanced intelligence. You can also decrease this and take basic sniping or something to help you out when you get your first scope if you just want to have extra leveling. I happen to find an issue where I like putting my link keys on Control and Alt, and it no longer allows me to get the wind speeds and stuff with sniping, so I don't really use it as much anymore. But what you're going to do is essentially when you start the game, you're going to go and craft, uh, axes and things. I like finding scissors, killing puppets, making rope out of the puppets stuff. It saves some space. And then I keep rope on me and I make axes. Then you cut down trees. You have to break down about 10 trees for basic survival. And about that time, you can get basic engineering. Um, and your awareness is going to be leveling up a little bit behind survival and stuff anyway. Then you want to cut down and break down your sticks. So you can, if you want to rush engineering, you can put sticks in like walls or whatever. But we use the spike trap. So when you break down and you use anything, you go and get the sticks, you put them in the spike trap. So I can level up my demolition at about the same rate. So you'll see the engineering is going to be the fastest, survival is going to be second fastest, and awareness and engineering are going to be somewhat close together. But that gives you 4 advanced stats there, and then you can get both of these advanced stats in a couple days. So 4, 5, 6, 7 if you want, 8, uh, 9, and 10. So you can get, 10 advanced stats at the very beginning. You have a very low calorie consumption rate. You barely have to worry about food, or it's very, very easy to get all this going. You have more HP to deal with issues. Um, so when you start the game, anytime that you're AFK or you're gonna leave for a little bit, you got like 6 hours for server reset. Since the calorie consumption is low, it doesn't really matter if you go AFK. You can find rocks or something to kind of go prone crawl into and get your camo skill going. You probably need multiple wheelbarrows for that. But I use rocks. You can find rocks pretty much anywhere in the forest. You can use some of the hay bales. Just find something that you can kind of walk into or crawl into, and then you can kind of level up your stealth that way. Sometimes having a backpack helps. Sometimes you got to have your body touching two different areas. What I really want to talk to you about when you're leveling these is that when you first start doing the engineering from basic, just use these single door frames. This will level it up really, really quick. For basic to medium, I am using these big improvised rafts. They seem to level up pretty fast. And then from that point, I don't really care about leveling it much after that, but I would use these medium chests probably. Um, they can give a decent amount of XP. Something that you may not know. All right, first off, when you're leveling your strength, you want to carry a decent amount of weight on your character. So when you're running around, even like this, I'm only getting 0.7. When you don't have a vehicle, you're going to want to craft a wheelbarrow as soon as you can. This makes it to where you can toss a bunch of stuff inside of the wheelbarrow to carry it. When you go to town or whatever, if you don't have a vehicle and you don't want to make multiple trips, you can just bring your wheelbarrow with you, stash everything in the wheelbarrow, and then slowly make your way back to your base later. Pushing the wheelbarrow is going to help level your strength a whole lot more. It also has a bunch of slots in here, but also you can craft a series of backpacks, toss the backpacks in the wheelbarrow. So this is a small improvised backpack, and you can see that it has 8 across. It's an 8x8 area, and when you stick it in the wheelbarrow, it is taking up a 4x6. So the more of these that you stick in there, the more space that you can hold. That's just something that you can do on the side. A lot of different games, they do backpack stacking. I haven't seen anyone really consider that when you use a wheelbarrow in this game. So you push the wheelbarrow, you put a multiples of backpacks in there. So you can take your starter backpack, the crafted backpack, then the backpack that you make when you get survival to basic, and stick all of those in there, save some extra space, toss them in. And then like when you park your wheelbarrow, you can pick up a backpack, equip it, put a backpack in your hands, go and throw everything in those bags, bring it back to the wheelbarrow, toss them in, go out, throw everything in the bags, bring it back to the wheelbarrow, toss them in, and then you can bring them home. Now, this is where things get more important if you want to help speed this up a little bit. So you can see that basically I've been playing for a couple hours today. Engineering, we already got 20% to medium. We already got almost 10% from survival to medium. Awareness is going to hit. We can farm awareness by logging in and logging out of servers. If you can't log in and out of servers, then you can just cut a whole bunch of trees or anything down and run back and forth. You can push a wheelbarrow as well to level up strength while you're doing that if you want. But I use the bow and arrow and base building and all of that to level up my awareness at the first of the game. Helps a lot. The stealth and camo will take a few days of AFK. Demolition is going to be pretty much on par with everything else here. But as soon as you get your first 10 trees or whatever built down and you got basic engineering, basic survival, you're going to go into your crafting. And what you want to get used to when you start playing in this game is building improvised toolboxes. It's something that, it seems like it may be a hassle to build, but it gives you the option to build metal tools. And so these bolts and nails, you want to get access to these. If you don't have any place to farm these, then you're going to want to gather whichever one that you can get the most of, and then sell some things at the traders and buy the boxes to complete this. The metal is usually pretty easy, wood's pretty easy. Um, all this, I mean, you can use clubs or whatever kind of tool that you want to fill that in. But as soon as you have the option, you want to be able to go and build a metal axe. Now you can build whatever metal axe that you want. I went with the two-handed axe. A lot of these, the two-handed axes and stuff, these cloths actually affect the HP value of the crafted material quite a lot. So when I built this one, it was already like at 40, 50%, and it probably had to do with the rag. I haven't really tested it for the metal one, but for these big stone axes, whatever HP value you have on this cloth is what the HP value of the tool is going to be when you craft it. So that's where, at the beginning of the game, I would personally save all of your clothing items that are 100% for building those two-handed axes and things like that. If you have access to a pharmacy, those places spawn cloth, and they usually have higher HP values than other places that you're going to find. And that's where I go to find the cloth that I'll use for crafting axes and things like that. So that is important to note. Now you'll notice also when I look in my inventory, I have a stone hatchet, I have a metal two-handed axe, and I have a saw. Now, what I notice with this, okay, I could be biased a little bit, but I've been cutting down the same exact trees. When I cut down these trees before, I was getting 6 to 8 logs with these stone tools. With the metal axe, I was getting basically 10 logs. And with the metal saw, I was getting basically the 6 to 8 logs again, right? But every time you use these, they take different damage when you use them certain ways. So like the saw takes more damage when you cut trees and things with it. But like every time that you break down a log, it's taking 1% durability off of your axe. Every time that you cut sticks, it takes so much durability off your axe. Every time you craft an arrow, it takes durability off your axe. So if you want to craft arrows, it's better to use a knife or something like that, all right? Because knives aren't that useful otherwise. And then when they get low durability, I mean, you can just use them as throwing knives and throw them at people. That's fine. Um, but what you do is you swap these out. So I have 3 on me. You swap these out. So the stone axe is going, when you craft this, it's at 100% all the time, right? And so you'll see when we break down a log, if I have a log still over here, I think I just built. All right, so when you break down a log, it's going to take a percentage off of this stone axe. So right now it's at 88%. All right, now it's 86%. And we got 4 planks. Now if we use a metal axe, we're still going to get 4 planks. But the reason why you want to carry multiple tools on you is so that you can maximize the value of each individual tool. You can repair these at the shop, but I just used the full toolbox on this axe over here, and it only got it back up to like 45%, right? Now, if I'm getting extra logs using a metal axe on a tree, and it is taking 1% durability, and you had a 100% durability axe, and it's giving me 2 extra logs per tree, then that means that essentially I can cut down 100 trees using that one axe, right? And let's say that you were getting 6 logs. Let's say you got 8 logs per tree cut with a stone axe. Well, now you're getting 10, so you're getting extra 2 per. So if you cut down 100 trees, you would have had 800 logs. Now you're getting an extra 200 on top of that, right? Now, if you cut down the lumber and you're getting 4 lumber planks with a stone axe, and you're getting 4 lumber planks with a metal axe, but it takes the same durability away. I mean, maybe it takes 1 durability off instead of 2, but I think it's more of a waste cutting the lumber than cutting the tree. If you're getting extra logs with a metal axe, then you might as well just cut the trees with the metal axe. Even if you take more durability damage with a stone hatchet, you can craft more stone hatchets easier than you can craft a metal axe. And then when it comes to the saw, you use that on the sticks that you get because it increases the amount of sticks that you get out of your stick bundles. So you want to kind of keep different weapons on you for different reasons when you're playing, right? And then things like this, where you're going to put something in there. You have to put a weapon in there when you start the blueprint. Having the stone axe in your hand, which you would already have in your hand for cutting those, doesn't really decrease the value that much, right? And so we're just tossing all the logs in there. Right? So you're not going to be losing a whole lot of value when you do that. So now let's go back over here. Now, everything that I was leveling, where everything's pretty much equal the whole way through, was with basic stone, just using stone axes and stuff. Everything's pretty equal. But now that we hit the next stage, you need to increase and go to the next stage of farming to make things faster. So when I was cutting all these sticks with a hatchet, either one of the hatchet, the metal or the actual, the metal or the actual stone hatchet, I was getting 3 sticks per time, right? So I got these 10 sticks up here, I got from cutting it with the saw, and then those bottom 3 I got cutting it with, the bottom 3 I got for cutting it with an axe. Okay, so you'll see, like, when you cut these, five. Now, this is twofold. One, it gives you more awareness because you're making more items. Two, it's giving you more XP for your skills because that's basically kind of how you want to do this. But it also speeds up your base building when you're starting the game, so that is also important. So all of these sticks here are small wooden sticks, and we go over here and we start putting stuff in blueprints. But we are gaining 2 extra sticks per large stick when we do this. So now we only need 2 large sticks to fill up 1 blueprint instead of needing a bunch of log sticks, probably 3 or so to fill up a blueprint, right? Now, I don't really know if it increases the amount of small sticks, but it does seem like it does. But the large sticks alone is enough to make this viable for me. Okay. Now, I'll go ahead and show you a power of the wheelbarrow. Okay. I'm going to toss some tools in there. Well, actually, I ain't going to go in town and show you that. I mean, I just was in the town a second ago, but we'll keep these on us. The wheelbarrow is going to be alright. But as long as you use the wheelbarrow and you're pushing everything relatively quickly, especially with the 5 constitution, because your constitution isn't going to really change, or like your running and stuff isn't going to change when you're doing this. Your constitution will go up while pushing this wheelbarrow, but your strength will also go up. So at the beginning of the game, if you start using the wheelbarrow as quickly as possible to loot things in the buildings and to base build, your strength is going to level up at a decent pace, and your dexterity is still going to level up naturally as well. So in about 6 hours or so of base building or looting, you have the 0.5, you know, so it's not that big of a deal. But the wheelbarrow, when it comes to base building, so right here, you'd want to swap over to the metal axe. Now, a lot of players do like combat at the beginning of the game, and it is fine to go for combat builds, but I feel like that this right here is going to give you the best. You have the most HP, the most resistances, the most stamina, the most speed. You know, that's a lot of value. Plus, you're going to have these maxed out long before anyone else has both of theirs maxed out. And the lower your strength is, the higher your strength gain is going to be. So having a lower strength at the beginning of the game means that you will catch up faster than everyone else just playing the game naturally. And all the stats inside of strength level up faster than all the stats in every other area, pretty much. So that's very good. And that's why starting with thievery and medical is very important as well. These right here, you can already see, I mean, 23%. I don't remember what we were just at a second ago, probably 20%. Well, we're gaining like 3, 4, 5% or whatever per tree. And then survival's going up moderately. But we only need basic survival for the most part. The other one gives you a little bit of benefit, not too much. After we get medium engineering, that's where we pretty much take off on our base building. And awareness is going to get basic, but we can farm awareness later. And we want basic demolition here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this log with the wood axe, or the stone axe, so you can see, or not stone axe, the metal axe, so you can see. Right now it's at 38%, 4 logs, and it dropped 1%. Compared to getting extra logs per tree, it's just not worth it. Okay. Now when it comes to the wheelbarrow, I believe if you make bundles, you can fit more logs than what you would have, you know, just sitting around, which it's okay to make logs, but you probably have to cut 2 or 3 logs to make one bundle, because I think you can only do 3 at a time. So you see that we got 1 spare. So it's a bundle, and it takes up, you know, 2/3 of the size or so of a log, so I don't really know if it's worth it or not to do that. But when you take these sticks, every time with the wheelbarrow, you have enough room to fit all of the logs and the stick that you have to move, right? And then we go over here and look, and we're getting the 0.384, and this is still going fine. Calorie burn at 360 right now, so you're going to be floating around 400, 500. If you go with a max strength character or even a balanced character, just running around or pushing this wheelbarrow, you're going to be burning, I think, like 600, 700 calories. So the more endurance that you have at the beginning of the game, the more efficient this is going to be. But Constitution helps that as well. So if you're a base building, you just push the wheelbarrow over, cut down the tree. You're going to be gaining 0.2, 0.3, cutting the tree down. Load it into wheelbarrow, push the wheelbarrow over. You're going to be gaining 0.3, pushing the wheelbarrow back. And then you're going to build whatever you're building, and you'll be good after that. Right? Now, when it comes to prepping for bases, if you're not leveling up your skills anymore, I would recommend essentially that you plan ahead what you're going to build. Like, if you need logs, you can build a log storage shed. That's fine to do that. I believe if you're just using stone tools, it's more efficient to store the large sticks. So when you cut the branches, you store the large sticks as bundles inside containers, and then you use the small sticks to build your traps or whatever to level demolition. If you want to go fully into base building and engineering, then you don't really worry about storing any of the sticks. You want to break them down into small sticks for your walls. So all those large sticks you want to break down into small sticks. Don't use large sticks on your walls because it wastes a lot of time. You can speed up your base building like 10 times faster just using the small sticks instead of the large sticks. So you can also store up a bunch of those branches if you plan on building a lot of walls. You store up the branches over time. And when you get ready, you take the branches out, you cut them, and then you cut them into pieces and use them into your wall. But that's up to you if you want to do that. If you want to level awareness and you don't want to gather cloth or whatever as well, you can gather up a bunch of those tree branches, stick them somewhere, and then when you're ready to level up your awareness, you cut all the tree branches down and put them in your area, and after that, you're pretty much golden. You're already getting 3% right there. Already lost track of where my blueprint was. There we go. Now, for some of the people that say this is cheating and that you shouldn't be able to use blueprints to get XP this way, okay? I like fairly active leveling. I'm not really a big fan of passively leveling skills. I do recognize that it does take a long time to level some skills, so it's better just to build them outright, okay? But when it comes to putting things in a blueprint, I don't think that that's necessarily cheating, okay? I have worked in a wood shop. My family, we have a wood shop literally right next door to us right now. We used to build furniture and stuff in. You gotta have a rough draft, okay, when you build things, alright? There's always like a schematic that you draw up, and then you plan everything out, and then you try to stick the first one together, and something goes wrong, and then you gotta change some things, you know? So, all it is you're trying to build something, and you're messing up, and you're breaking down the blueprint. I think that's reasonable. But AFKing for like stealth and camo, I don't think that's terrible either. I mean, you know, if you're gonna crawl through the bushes for 1,000 hours, I mean, that's riveting gameplay right there. You know, you could level it up. If it did end up becoming like that, then I would say just start with that skill max because it's more important than other skills, you know? Like, if you're going to choose camo or medical, it really comes down to, like, are you going to be in the face of people, or do you want to avoid getting shot? And then when it comes to, like, stealth or lockpicking, do you want to lockpick, or do you want to be sneaky, you know? Or do you want to steal people's stuff, or do you want to kill people and get their stuff? There we go, basic demolition. Also, when you do this, it's just like an efficiency thing. Like, if you're not going straight into PvP, not having to worry about eating and drinking constantly saves a lot of time. I would also argue, okay, I would argue this, although I don't think it's the most important thing in the world, that time saving wise, if you weren't going to take advanced medical, I would take advanced survival out of everything else. Because when you start with no survival, it takes you like 200 seconds to cut down a tree. All right, and you're sitting here thinking, 200 seconds, that's not a big deal. Let me get some paper real quick. 200 seconds, that's not a big deal. All right. Let me explain to you why it's kind of a big deal. It takes a while to level up medical for sure, and it is a very important skill. 200 seconds per tree is 3 minutes and 20 seconds per tree. When you get to basic survival, I think it goes to 160, 140. That is still 2 minutes and 20 seconds a tree. Then you get to medium, I believe it goes down to 100 seconds a tree. It's either medium or advanced, it goes down to 100 seconds a tree. Let's say at medium to advanced, it goes to 100 seconds a tree. That's still 1 minute and 40 seconds, right? You have to break down 10 trees to get to medium, or to get to basic. So that is 30 minutes, and then you have 200 seconds, so 33 minutes or so to get to basic. Alright, that's not terrible, like skill level wise. And then you have to get like 100 trees or whatever to get to advanced, or not to advanced, to get to medium. Which that already what am I doing here? Need 100,000 XP to medium. You need to cut down and process 100 trees. And this is with stone tools too, it's not with metal tools. So you need to process 100 trees. You're going to be losing, you'll probably be gaining a little bit of time using a metal tool compared to a stone tool. So 100 trees. Process 100 trees for that. Gives you 1,000 XP per tree. You need to do a 100, and then you got to do that times, what do we say? It was like 140 seconds, something like that, so 140. And then you got to divide that by 60, and divide that by 60, right? So it's going to take 4 hours of cutting and processing a tree to get to medium. And then when you go to advanced, I don't really know exactly how much it was, but let's say it's 100 XP, and you need 100,000, so you divide that by 100, you need to cut down 10,000 trees, and, or no, I messed that up. I need to know the XP value to figure this out. If it takes 100 trees to get to 100,000, then it'd probably take what 1,000 trees to get to advanced. Okay. And then that is 100 seconds. So you're looking at 27 hours of cutting down trees to get that. Now, I'm a base builder. I like leveling up my skills with base building. It's going to be a lot faster to level up survival than it is going to be to level up medical. But if you don't have any interest leveling medical and you're a base builder or something, it's probably worth your time to level up your survival first, like to get it advanced. Because you're going to get to Advanced Plus. This skill is probably one of the fastest skills to get to Advanced Plus that I could see. Like cutting down a couple of trees, you already get like 20,000 XP. You can get this to Advanced Plus really quick. And so I'm assuming maybe it'll take like a minute to process a tree at Advanced Plus. And just imagine like how rapidly you could produce things with that. So like arrows, all your walls, your cabins, all of that stuff. Like you're seeing one tree to produce all of this. Like producing this one foundation here. You know, 4 logs and some lumber, and you say you could cut that time down in half or something. I mean, it's over a period of time, you're going to be saving a lot. Like 30 or 40 minutes of base building, if you can get that down to like 10 minutes, that's pretty good. You know, you're going to be able to do a lot more in your day. Like if you want to build a build that is specifically like just a good all-around build for general gameplay to conserve as much time as possible, I think you use construction and stuff a lot more than medical, but that's just me. Alright. But this is just kind of something to help out a little bit when you first get into the game, to realize like maybe there's something that you can do to help make it a little bit quicker for you. I'm not going to say that it's the best method to do everything with, but I do think that is important to kind of maximize what you're going to do at the beginning of the game. And so this tool thing is something that you really need to consider, because every time that you have to stop and make more tools and stop and make more tools and stop and make more tools, it takes away from how fast you're getting stuff done. Having 3 tools, even if it's 3 stone axes all at once, conserves the time so you don't have to go out and search for more materials. If you're going out and you're gathering cloth, gather the cloth, get it ready, make the rope. If you're going out and you're getting the stone, go ahead and make 3 or 4 stone axe heads. Get that all ready, because you're saving the travel time that you're using going back and forth. All right. Go ahead and get this metal axe. Use the metal axe so you don't have to cut down as many trees. If you don't have to cut down as many trees, it saves time off of your survival. You know, getting more product from each of the pieces with the different tools helps conserve a lot of time, and also makes, you know, everything a lot smoother for the most part. Um, and then when you're looking at skill stats, if you're trying to advance every single stat in the game to advanced, starting with medical is going to be good. Starting with thievery is going to be good. Starting with running and endurance is going to be good. We already got 0.4 strength, and we're not even focusing on this right now. Even though it says 0.135, it's saying 0.4 up there. But we can level everything up to medium pretty soon just doing this, right? We'll be at 3 strength within a couple days. And everyone that takes 5 strength at the beginning of the game, like all those stats that you took are good for PvP, but they're not going to be that hard to level. if you take 3 strength at the beginning of the game and you're going for advanced rifles, you could probably get advanced rifles. But within like 2 days, I'll probably have the 3 strength, and I can probably level my rifles all the way up to advanced, you know. So, I mean, and then you're going to be stuck without having any running or endurance. So, just something to think about. I'm going to play with my puppy for a little bit, so I'm going to hop off here for a minute.